How effective is a saber? With Blade and Sorcery being a fantastic physics sim that weirdly lets you get a sense for a weapon's weakness and potential strength with range, weight, and utility, i.e. a shield for instance, it's proven, at least to me, to shatter a lot of my understanding of weapons, and honestly really show how good things like reach are. Not to mention the various different styles of weapons and how they all cater to a specific style of getting around certain conundrums like shields, guards, and so on and so forth. And now, a Blade and Sorcery, like I said, not perfect, very glitchy, sometimes derpy, but still offers you a variety of scenarios to kind of test your mettle in, and shows you what kind of leverage you actually have in given scenarios. So after my spear video, mace video, and axe video I was a little rough on sword just because I find them to be pretty talked about, but one of you lovely people suggested that we try out sabers for a chance, putting said weapon to the test in a variety of scenarios and seeing what could actually be applied and leveraged for your own gain, and what is a deep weakness of the said weapon. There's just one problem. 90% of my understanding of sabers comes from that one Blade and Sorcery video where the guy took fence in college and told us all about like 1 and 6 and like the different attack thing. You watched it, you know the video. Needless to say, I don't have a lot of understanding for sabers, so I want to go learn. And to my surprise, there's a lot of good content showing you the various forms and techniques of saber striking, I guess. Or forms. I can't describe how shocking it is because it's rare as hell to find anything on a mace or a spear. There's so much on swords. This is partially why I made spear videos, just to kind of be like, God damn you! Anyways, but here's my layman's understanding of all the videos I watched and so on and so forth.
Alright, so this is, I know nothing about sabers, but this is what I was able to kind of garner. It seems like a lot of it is like wrist locked, where there's almost like this circle right here where you're trying to keep your wrists from like deviating these massive movements, instead trying to keep your movements all up in your wrist and your elbows position, it seems like. So trying to do these weird recovery swings, and those recovery swings are tied to like essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you would start here, go through a slash, and then you could curve to like the underneath, so you'd go maybe get hit off and then go underneath, or it's like a redirection of momentum, so when you miss you can come back up, but you wouldn't go like this, it seems like you would naturally do with like a cleaving motion. You would just keep it into this weird dialed in kind of moment, which weirdly enough can make sense if you're trying to like fake someone out, like if you're trying to go here and then you curve inwards like this or some weird thing. I know nothing. But let's see what actually kind of applies even for a beginner. Ha! Alright, so we're starting off with some little tiny babies, not a lot of armor. But there's kind of an issue with wrist mobility. Like I have to hold down this trigger button to hold my hand grabbing it. So there's weird things where like you let go of the weapon slightly and then you like smack it down. It's hard to describe anyways. You need to be more, I need to commit more. That kind of makes sense. Like the lag, like come up here, you could go either down or sweep underneath. That kind of makes sense. Oh shit! Okay. Slash, bend this way, slash again. A lot of it seems like Finess-Eee movement where you're trying to keep your wrist within this halo, so you're not trying to do these massive cleaves, etc. You're trying to keep it all delicate, like you're hitting with the end of the blade, which looks very pretty. I just don't know if I'm, in my essence of essence, I'm kind of more of a kind of thing, and not like a Let's see how we do with our left hand. What was that one video again? This and then this. Sorry, this and then this. So I could go here or I could go here. 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 Well, that was a little glitchy. Again, here, here, or we can go underneath. We can go, that's not very, that one doesn't feel very good. I did see some people like you have to let go. You have to like let go with you basically have to hold on with just this much, and then with that lets you basically get those weirder movements, and then you fire your this bit to like wah. Anyway, oh, that is so bright. Oh, hello. And neck. I don't think sabers really. Oh god. And when it comes to fighting multiple enemies, that's a little tough. Leg, head. Oh, although, so I've seen this one move that was really cool. It was like to get behind like a shield. Ah, I smoked my hand. I can't see the power of just like flicking at the leg like that. Like just these kind of slight movements that are meant to just kind of nick a person. Of course, this isn't actually... Well, I guess sabers weren't canonically that hard. But I still think the weight would surprise you. Also, again, some people would know this as a saber. I knew this as a pirate sword only, you know, moments ago. By the way, we do have other maybe sabers as well, but I'm gonna piss off everybody with this video. I apologize in advance. It's weird, like they've actually developed edge alignment, because if I'm not perfectly like in line, then it doesn't really make sense. That's more my speed, you know? Oh, Jesus! Leg! Body! Leg! Body! Again, it's I don't think there's like those cleaving motions that I'm used to. Instead, it's more of like this bop, bop. Which is, enemies keep like walking backwards, so I'm like, shit, and I guess that's why you do like lunges, but I don't have that much room, man, this is a bed. Alright, well this should be the showdown that we were looking for better or worse. Let's just, no matter what, we're gonna stay into this tight range of a circle. This. Like that. Like that. The feints are crazy. Starting off here so that you can go down if you want, or go here is kind of OP. I will say, it does feel like a weapon that's best not to hesitate and just to go with whatever you're doing like this and then follow through. So it almost doesn't feel like you can go kind of play it by ear. It's like I'm going to feint this way and just go for a hit. And if whatever happens, happens. Like this. Up here, bottom right. There we go. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Oh. Stop. 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 Oh. Chill. I'm not sure if the game is doing a good job of simulating a weapon getting stuck, and then like you think you're gonna go like bang, next one, instead it's like bang, shit. You get 3 good slashes, then your weapon starts getting dull and basically becomes a bludgeon. But lucky for us, we have this, which I think is also, well, I hope is considered a saber. I don't really. That's my like gnarled fingers every time I try to grab it. Ew. Oh shit! This one has a significantly more extreme curve, so I wonder if I can actually get some pokes going. Yeah, like that. Over the cross and stab, except I miss, but it's okay because you can come back around.
So one of the first things I noticed is how applicable this is to probably every other sword, or a variety of swords, I think. Not needing to do all of these massive sweeping movements to like cleave somebody in half. In fact, that's probably a myth in general and probably get your weapon stuck. But this notion of trying to do these small little movements to like slice at the eyes of your enemy, or hit a vital point in the neck, or some of the more advanced stuff that I don't think I could pull off, which is like sweeping your guard underneath someone else's sword and whipping at their wrist, so to speak, damaging the hand that's holding the very same weapon that they were. All of these movements seemingly being able to be chain connected to other sword techniques and all that stuff, right? And that's all while accounting for me not having a lot of space to do these kind of lunging movements and kind of driving forward whilst you're striking, which I couldn't exactly do. But the one thing that stood out in the biggest way possible when you're actually applying this kind of stuff, like keeping your range of motion restricted to kind of a circular halo, while you're mostly using the momentum of the blade or the in the wrist to kind of snap your hand at something. To me, what was the most standout thing was how amazing this was for a feint in a kind of way, where you hold your hand up in a certain way and you can either drive down in that exact choreographed way, or you can just loop around spinning your wrist and whapping someone from the other angle, i.e. 1 and 6 or 3 and 4. Maybe it's just AI or the nature of being in VR and not having a slightly heavier weapon or joystick, I guess, control, whatever you want, point of momentum at a distance. It felt like you could really really fire those off fast. So much so that heaven help anyone who's trying to block. I think that's why whenever I see fencing videos, it's a lot of like, it's not even about blocking with your weapon, it's almost about like ducking to some extent. It's almost like a mixture of you have to not only try to cover with your sword, but also get the hell away because there are such weird movements and it's so fast that if you don't also move, you could basically get clipped. It kind of made slightly more sense. But yes, if you were ever going to take anything away from this weapon, I think it's the fact that you could, doing feints with it just felt so right. Coming down at one side, then quickly pivoting whilst using its momentum to snap your wrist in another direction. And someone having that level of reaction speed, good luck, you know? Now, with all that being said, that was more or less just cloth type of armor. I'm really curious to see what happens when we increase the difficulty to start seeing leather armor and of course steel armor, how this weapon could fare.
But let's see what happens when we put on the hardest enemies in the game, which are usually ordained in the craziest of armor that you've ever seen. So yeah, this could be where shit gets fucked real bad. Oh no. Oh, I had a mouse on the screen. I'm sorry. That's why it was all blurry there. Or weird looking. Let's try with this one, like I said. Try to get some of these hook stab thing. Alright, luckily the heads aren't armored yet, but they do have big old shields. I just need to reach around that shield. Oh, come on, that was a hit. Where's my weapon? Give me that. Okay, I'm not sure if this counts, but hopefully it does. I lost my weapon in someone's stomach. I think that counts. Does this count? I think it counts, right? God, I know there's like different types, so hopefully it's adjacent. Hopefully the same attack patterns work. Oh, that's my worst nightmare. Okay. I can't see shit. Okay. All right. There's a hope for us if we can get right in that eye plate. Nope. Jesus. Damn it. Is that knee plate, maybe? Nope. Nope. The armpit? I see the armpit. Maybe I can just hit him with like a bad low attrition. If I just keep hitting more. Oh yeah, I got him. That was a nice fucking parry thing. Alright. Fuck it. Ow. Stop. Let go. Give me that. Okay. Saber had a problem. Armor's so bad. It's so bad against armor. I thought it was gonna be not good. I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. I thought that we'd have a chance of getting in between a plate and the neck hole. Heaven help me. Oh jeez. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Maybe if we grabbed it like this and just fucking hoped to death, it went in. But these guys, I think, has hope for us. Ready? Well, a little bit of lag there, but let's see. At least this can penetrate the leather armor, but hey. I do think having this would be quite helpful. Oh, it's another one of you. Alright, once again, we're just gonna deploy this. Get me! There. That little spike is always just the bee's knees. Maybe if we heat it up a little bit, it'll get through some of that armor. That's pretty fire. Ooh, that you got me too with the little saber. Little stab. Little stab. Oh, shit. Shit. Oh, I'm dead. That was definitely a stab right through the chest. Yeah, jump away. Leg hit. Leg. Oh, we got a felch. Or flanch, is that what it's called? Once again, I always just go default to stab. All these little slices are just never worth the bang for their buck. Like that. It's all about the stab game, but don't worry. I have a fallback. Shit! Come here! I know this is probably not... It's probably the same little tiny movements like so, but it feels like shit to use. Stop! Stop it! Stay on the ground! Stay on the ground! No! Okay. Well, it's kind of worked out. You know? Well, we lost half of our weapons, so there's that. Oh, there is a pretty just classic knight sword. So you don't think we're gonna get past the armor problem anytime soon. But you know, it's what it is.
That's what surprised me so much about the whole spear video too. Maybe it's just the scale of blade and sorcery, but I feel like it kind of lines up. To me, the weakness of swords, specifically the ones with curved blades, it seems to be very hard to puncture or to do like deep tissue damage, which tends to be the thing that kind of shuts down the body fast. Instead, you're opting for these kind of like slashes or gashes within a person's body. And you'd be amazed how much like leather can be a tremendous deterrent against slashes. And again, if you've ever seen somebody put like a leather jacket or hide on a ballistics gel dummy and get slashed a bunch, you may have actually been able to see them like cleave them pretty hard. The issue with that though is that a lot of ballistics gel dummies are like grounded like a tree, and you're not that way. You're going to be hitting and your body's going to crumple against the stab, especially if the person's aware of you. And again, when you're working so hard just to get a slash while someone's guarding and blocking, and then you finally are able to get a hit and it's just a kind of a glancing slashing blow, the enemy's still coming right at you full force. Maybe blade and sorcery plays too heavily into adrenaline or whatever you want to call it, and maybe most people would be like, ow, 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 ooh, ooh, ow. And they would just fold immediately. But to me, that's the thing that I keep coming back to when it comes to swords and anything kind of like it. And why, again, range is such a nice thing, because even with the saber, as I was trying to keep the like armored infantry person like at bay, I couldn't deal any damage to him, so eventually I just said, all right, we're just going to try to like tackle him to the ground and hope that we can wrestle his weapon away. It's kind of the weird thing we chose upon. But I mainly did that because I didn't really feel like we had sufficient range. And again, I hate to always bring it up, but that's why to me I think spears are so nice, just because you can keep someone at range easily, and you can kind of trick them into moving in and then do a lunge or a thrust and punish them severely. Maybe again, I don't think you're punching through armor, but I think you could punch easier through a plate than trying to get the tiny little saber with one hand into a specific spot, like a neck plate or some sort of joint, you know? Maybe clubs are just the be-all end-all, and yeah, I don't know. But those are the two inherent weaknesses that I found within sabers, is how shocking just layers of cloth or fabric or even leather can be to a slash, and how much that can kind of stick your weapon in someone and make it hard to retrieve. And the other thing was range. Range is great, and maybe that's why so much fencing has like this like a beautiful footwork where you're like driving forward and then kind of like jumping backwards to some extent. And that's kind of where you're playing in this weird like dominant area. That kind of makes sense too. But those are the two things where I feel like if you don't have that ironed out, you're going to suffer greatly. So on and so forth. Again, I think most martial arts comes down to like footwork and like understanding of your weapon's reach. It seems to be like the fundamentals that will take you so far. By the way, I didn't mention that. I only focus on fundamentals with this. I know there's some like crazy types of parries and stuff like that. I just don't know if we'll be able to replicate that in blade and sorcery. Yeah, so that's why I was like, Also, dude, I don't know, man. The more I try this stuff, especially when it comes to spear, which I have a little more like, nerdy nonsense grinding my own time with this weapon. So you can do a bunch of like flurry feints. The fundamentals were fundamental for a reason, man. Like 90% of the value you can gain out of the weapon is just understanding like the fundamental of doing this. Now, perhaps I should have done more studying. I'm sure that will be the main criticism as well. You didn't do this. I just wanted to see if you were to give a saber to a person who had very little understanding of it, gave them a crash course, what would they find value in? How would they leverage it? What would be their big takeaway? And to me, the big takeaway was how amazing feints were with this kind of style, how you're able to rechamber and flow into different directions, and how fast that you can do that, along with the speed in which you can just chamber those things out. Also, the thrust. Like if you have an actual pointy saber, holy shit. Just being able to like quickly nudge something and that like that little pin needle goes through, I feel like it would crack for sure, because I don't think it has enough robustness to survive. But still, you only need to use once or twice. Oh, and that was the other, sorry, one more little weakness thing that I think I mentioned in the gameplay, sorry, but like, I feel like something that isn't accounted for is how dull a weapon gets, how fast, especially in these stupid blade and sorcery things where you're fighting like 1,000 enemies. Heaven help you. Your weapon's gonna get dull so fast. Anyways, but ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for listening to me ramble about weapon and weapon arts. Once again, half of the battle is just finding proper like tutorials to actually explain to you how to use the weapon that aren't talking about like the beautiful Finess-Eee nature of things. By the way, when I say Finess-Eee, I kind of mean like the fundamentals are like 80% of the things that you can actually use and get a lot of value out of, and then 20% is often the most explained part because it is the highest echelon of fighting other people who also know the 80%. But that doesn't mean you're going to get 80% of the value. You're basically learning like the 20% nuance of like pairing a specific shot, which is useful if you're really into the fencing at a base. But yeah, that's kind of what I mean about, yeah. Anyways, love you to bits. Hopefully I can see you once again. We make videos whenever I have the damn time, and I hope I can talk to you about weapons. And give me another weapon that you guys want me to try out. I'm sorry I can't go too into them just because I've not made a time and I can't like do my best. Anyways, thank you so much, and goodbye, my friends.